Hi everybody, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. We have a lot of juicy Royal Daily Tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So happy 6th birthday to Prince Louis. Princess Catherine was very gracious and kind to give us all a brand new photograph of her youngest son. Now he is seen lying on a fleece blanket wearing a smart checkered shirt and blue shorts, and you can tell he's missing a couple of teeth on the bottom. Now sharing the new official portrait, Kensington Palace said, "Happy 6th birthday, Prince Louis. Thank you for all of the kind wishes today." Now there was some talk that they weren't going to release any more photographs from Catherine. There was rumors that this tradition of Catherine releasing a photograph of her children on their birthdays wasn't going to happen after the horrible Photoshop fiasco that people made a huge deal out of. But I'm really happy that Catherine went ahead and released a photograph. She is a great photographer and he is such a handsome little boy. Now in my opinion, he looks a lot like Catherine's father. What do you guys think? Do you think he looks more like the Middletons or more like William's side of the family? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. So Queen Eizabeth was honored with a brand new statue on what would have been her 98th birthday. And of course, they had a gathering of corgis. Queen Elizabeth's second posthumous birthday was celebrated in a major way in the smallest county in England. On April 21st, what would have been Queen Elizabeth's 98th birthday, a 7-foot bronze statue depicting the monarch as a young woman with a corgi at her feet was unveiled outside of the local library in Oakham in Rutland, England's smallest county. Now, the Rutland City Council said the effigy is England's first permanent memorial to Her late Majesty, who died in September of 2022 at the age of 96. Now, the statue is by artist Hywell Braun Pratley. He imagined a very young Queen Elizabeth standing in ceremonial robes with the George IV diadem on her head, the Order of the Garter sash across her gown, and of course one of her beloved corgis playing at her feet. The sculptor gave us a peek at his creation last year, but has now added 2 more corgis to the base of the statue. Here you can see the unveiling of the statue. It's adorable to see the crowds that came out. Of course, they did sing "God Save the Queen," and at the end of the statue unveiling, you could see all of the corgis gathering around the statue. I think it's a very fitting, it's a very lovely statue. Let me know if you are from that county or if you plan to go there and see that statue. But I think Queen Eizabeth would be tickled to see a statue in her honor, and of course with all of the adorable corgis that came out to celebrate her special day. So apparently Lemonada is starting to get a little bit of cold feet. News has come out that Meghan Markle's brand new podcast with the all-female owned company Lemonada has now been delayed until sometime in 2025. I think we got some trouble a-brewing. So Meghan Markle signed with Lemonada just a few months ago, where they announced they were going to distribute her 12 episodes of her Archetype podcast that she had with Spotify on several platforms, basically freeing it to the masses so they can all come and listen to her gobbledygook that nobody bothered to listen to in the first place. Now, we all know that Lemonada is literally a step down for Meghan Markle. Spotify is one of the biggest platforms that you can be on as a podcaster. Now, back in December of 2020, Harry and Meghan were doing those desperate money grabs and they were piling on those huge multi-million dollar deals. It was like Oprah, and you get a deal, and you get a deal, and you get a deal. It was like, ooh, Christmas morning for Harry and Meghan. But that was in 2020. Now we're in 2024 with the economy in the toilet and their reputation following behind it. So now Harry and Meghan are scraping, and they're getting very, very desperate as these huge deals are about to go bust, and they have not signed any more deals since 2020. Now, it took Meghan Markle 18 months to produce the 12 episodes of Arsewives, and let's just say nobody was impressed, especially the executives at Spotify who forked out $10 million. Now, Meghan Markle, in my opinion, wanted out of her contract. If you remember back in February of 2022, before they released any episodes, they tried to pick a fight with Spotify over Joe Rogan. And they're like, we're not very comfortable, being on this platform that supports misinformation. And Joe Rogan, it's like the audacity of Harry and Meghan, who hadn't produced diddly squat at that point. The Duke and Duchess of misinformation themselves had the nerve to tell Spotify that their number one podcaster, who, by the way, they're paying $250 million over a 3-year contract, a lot more than that $20 million they were going to pay Harry and Meghan. They had the nerve to go after Joe Rogan. They're like, yeah, we don't feel comfortable. We're not sure if we should stay on this platform with you guys. We're thinking about it, we're uncomfortable. So Spotify's like, well, if you're uncomfortable, you can just hand us back the $10 million advance that we gave you, and we'll be, done and dusted. And Meghan's like, is this thing on? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, just kidding. And they came out like 5 months later with Archetypes. In my opinion, it was a very half-ass effort. You can tell it was very sloppily put together, with her entire team doing the heavy lifting. So now that Meghan Markle is coming out with American Riviera Orchard and her brand new cooking show for Netflix, Lemonada's getting nervous. They're like, wait a minute, she's got another project? I mean, what about our podcast? Hello, Meghan, don't we have a deal? So now they're realizing, okay, this woman overpromises and underdelivers. I mean, y'all should have had a Zoom call with Spotify and WME, just saying. They could have told you, save your money, sister. They're not worth the trouble. So now news has come out that Lemonade is worried about scheduling, that Meghan Markle is going to strain herself. Y'all remember, the girl works 1 hour a week. She can't do more than that. So now they're afraid she's going to overload herself and not be able to produce the podcast. Now, the other part of the issue is that Meghan Markle can't get any guests on her show. I know none of us are surprised. If you remember, Meghan was like, well, I don't really want to do Hollywood stars anymore. I'm so academic. I'm so smart. I'm like way smarter than all of those people. And I'm such a feminist and humanitarian. I just want to focus on political issues. So she wants to get like politicians and scientists and really big feminist leaders in the world, and then maybe sprinkle a couple of, Beyonce, Oprah, whatever. But the problem is nobody wants to be on her show. Nobody. She can't get anybody, and I don't think Serena wants to make a repeat appearance. Let's just say all of their calendars and their diaries are booked. They're washing their hair. They're walking their dog. Nobody's getting back to them. So now you have a problem with no celebrity guest. So they're delaying the podcast for a year due to scheduling conflicts and the fact they can't get guests. I hope, Lemonada, y'all are paying attention. Get out now. Get out now while you got some money in your bank. Don't pay this woman a penny because you will not get it back. So I believe this podcast is going to go belly up before it ever hits the airwaves. Now, currently, Lemonada has just added the 12 Archetype podcast that are already published and nobody's listening to a couple of different platforms, and they're trying to stick advertising dollar bills to archetypes, but I can't imagine anybody is wasting their advertising dollars advertising a podcast that sucks. That sucked when it came out almost 2 years ago. So I can't imagine they're making really any money by partnering with Meghan Markle. So first they have her 12 episodes of Archetypes, which is probably collecting tumbleweeds. And now they had to delay the new podcast for a year. How much you gonna bet this deal is going to crumble and fall away? I predict it's never going to happen and that Lemonada is going to be nada because you can't squeeze an old lemon looking for new juice. What do y'all think about the podcast being delayed? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. Well, guys, that is all the royal news that I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Be sure to check out video 2, your bonus video of the day. Is Prince Harry going to use a loophole to become a U.S. citizen and keep his royal titles? So make sure you go over and check out video 2. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.